the other judges who are present in the audience, I truly am honored to have you all here. The NYCLA past presidents who are in attendance, board members and NYCLA members, welcome. I have a contingent, a pretty large contingent actually, from Arnold and Porter, my friends and colleagues. I'd like to particularly note Phil Curtis, who's the managing partner of the New York office, and my very old friend Richard Swanson, who's joined the NYCLA board this very year. In addition, there are friends in the audience from the New York State Bar Association, the New York City Bar Entertainment Committee, more about them later, and my friends from the American Inn of Court. Thank you all for coming. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to recognize my family. Notwithstanding the fact they arrived a little bit late, they made it to the second row. My wife Christine, my daughter Elizabeth, my daughter Caroline, my son Harrison, who decided to sit farther back. And in addition, my parents are here, Henry, Norma, and my sister Janice. Thank you for coming. Before I give my formal remarks, I wanted to particularly note my President-elect Barbara Moses. I'm very glad that you're here. And before I talk, especially since we're here in church, I really wanted to address the golden cat incident. One of the prior times that Moses entrusted something to Aaron, things didn't work out so well. This time around, things will be different. If I ever decide to give up the reins of this organization, which I will in a couple of years, things will be in very good hands, Barbara, I promise. I truly am humbled to be named president of this organization. The predecessors in whose shoes I'm walking, the past NYCLA presidents who are here, and just to name a few, Charles Evans Hughes, Joseph Proskauer, Boris Castellanos, Dennis McInerney, Judge Harold Baer. It's going to be very difficult to follow them, but I'll do my best. I do want to thank my law firm, Arnold & Porter, for its support. As many of you may know, Arnold & Porter represented a fellow named Clarence Gideon in the case Gideon against Wainwright, and has always viewed pro bono service to be a very important value of the firm. It's a very important value of mine. It's a very important value of NYCLA. And their commitment to public service is one of the reasons why I can be here. So thank you to my partners and my colleagues at the firm. I also wanted to speak about three heroes. And actually my first hero is two people, and they happen to be sitting in the front row, and that's my mom and dad. My mom and dad had a store in Haverstraw, New York. I think you heard about that for a very, very long time. I forget the number of years, but it was in excess of 30. And we lived in an apartment upstairs. There's a technical term for the business they ran. Ross Fink probably knows the schmata business. They sold clothing and shoes and worked 6 days a week side by side. And their hard work and dedication is one of the reasons I'm here. One of the reasons why my sister Janice and I were able to go to college. And one of the reasons why I've been so successful getting their work ethic from them. And I thank you. My second hero is a fellow named Harry Chapin. Some of you are probably too young to remember who Harry Chapin was, but just as a reminder, he was a singer, songwriter, storyteller. He had a couple of songs that reached the charts for about a week, and those were Harry's words, Taxi, Cats in the Cradle. And what I admired about Harry wasn't so much his singing, although that's something I hope to emulate in future years, but rather his dedication to charity. Harry would donate half of the proceeds of every concert to a charity. One of his favorite charities was World Hunger Year. Harry died in a tragic accident on the Long Island Expressway. I still remember being in the backseat of my parents' car with my wife when we heard the news. He was on his way to a benefit concert in Eisenhower Park in Garden City, New York, where my wife is from, and he was tragically hit by a tractor trailer as he was changing lanes. But Harry won the Congressional Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian honor, and somebody who made a real impact on my life. And the third of my three heroes, some of the audience know because he was an active NYCLA member. His name was Richard Bond, went by the name Dick. Dick worked for years at Donovan Leisure, the Donovan Leisure firm, and I know some of you knew him from there. He then went on to a firm called Marshall, Prater, Green, Allison, and Tucker. He was one of the last people there before they closed the doors. He introduced me to the Federal Courts Committee. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. That's where I met Chief Judge Prescott when she was still in private practice. And she always acted as a mentor to me for Dick's firm, Bond and Cammy, so after they left Marshall Browder, he and Steve Cammy, who also tragically passed away at a way too young age. It was a 5-lawyer firm, I was the 6th, but my roots are in small firm practice, and I commit to you that NYCLA will continue to support the solos and small firm practitioners who are the backbone of NYCLA. I wanted to briefly discuss some initiatives that I have in mind over the coming year. Of course, I'm going to continue the successful initiatives, the task forces, the committees that Jim Kovac talked about earlier, and I really, again, thank all the members of the audience who are involved in those because it really has been a great year. But 3 new things that I wish to undertake. First, a task force on applied technology. The purpose of that task force is to empower attorneys in small firms and solos with technology tools. Many times lawyers in small firms don't have websites, aren't able to effectively do e-discovery without using expensive outside vendors. I've asked Carol Sigmund, who's a very dedicated member of the association and a very able person, and I've seen her do a lot of great things with the building, to head that task force up, and I know she'll do a terrific job. Thank you, Carol, for agreeing to take that on. Second, a task force on unemployed and transitioning lawyers. And the way this one came about, I guess, is a little bit interesting. I was speaking with Roz Fink, former NYCLA president. She was telling me about a conversation she had with Judge Shira Schindlin about unemployed lawyers and the big problem that we have with unemployed lawyers. And I said, gee, what can we do about that as a bar association? And I thought, why not form a task force? And that's what we're doing. And I've asked Blair Fensterstock, who's an incoming NYCLA board member and has shown tremendous leadership in other bar associations around town, to head up that initiative. The concept is we're going to train unemployed lawyers. We're going to offer them opportunities to handle cases. And the idea is, and I know this is going to be difficult and it's not going to happen overnight, to form a civil Gideon program to pick up the challenge that Chief Judge Lippman put upon us, and that is to have civil Gideon. Let's have representation for the needy in civil cases that can't afford it. Let's have NYCLA lawyers train these people, supervise them, and let's have them go out there and help the needy in representation that they need. It'll assist the courts, and obviously will be very useful, and I look forward to working with Blair and other members of that task force. The third task force is a task force to evaluate and investigate budget cuts. Michael Miller, former NYCLA president, is going to co-chair that initiative with Justice Stephen Crane. I'm very thankful for them for doing that, and I'm also very thankful for Michael Miller for bringing that idea to me. I think it's something that's essential and something where hopefully we can assist both the state and federal courts in this time of increasing challenges to judicial budgets. Step back. We're a member organization, NYCLA is, and one thing under my presidency I want to make sure that I never forget, the board never forgets, the staff never forgets. As a member organization, I can have all the greatest ideas in the world, but you're the reason why we exist, okay? So we need you, the members, to buy in to NYCLA and to participate in NYCLA. And I asked Sophia Jankopoulos to create my business card, and it has the usual stuff on the front, you know, where you can contact me and all that. On the back, it says, what can NYCLA and I do for you? And that's the question I have for each one of you who are NYCLA members. My email address is readily accessible, I believe. If not, it's stewart.aaron@aporter.com. Contact me through the association. I truly want to know, and I promise to get back to each and every one of you who contact me. What is it that NYCLA can do for you? And members of the judiciary, NYCLA will continue to be a strong supporter, as it has in the past, of the judiciary. We have a judicial section that's very active. We have a task force of judicial independence, a task force of judicial selection, and we will continue, as we did under Jim's leadership and prior NYCLA presidents, to advocate for the necessary increase in judicial compensation, which is a very long time coming here in the state of New York. In closing, in the shadow of Ground Zero and in this house of worship, I want to evoke a call to action using the words of one of my 3 heroes, Harry Chapin. Harry famously said, when in doubt, do something. And it kind of reminded me back to the days of playing high school football. I wasn't really very good on So, Harry Chapin's motto, when in doubt, do something. So for those of you that are looking for things to do, I don't know whether you're retired, whether you're bored at work, whether you just want to go out and do the public good, but we're here at NYCLA to help you. For those of you who are NYCLA members, we have wonderful pro bono projects. I'll just name a few. We have a legal counseling clinic to provide advice to clients in the areas of family, landlord, tenant, and other areas. We have the Manhattan Civil Legal Advice and Resource Office, which is another clinic that offers legal advice in consumer debt matters in civil court. We have a wonderful committee, task force on professionalism that has a mentoring program. Maybe you want to mentor someone. Maybe you want to join a committee, a task force, or work on some policy initiative. NYCLA has things for you to do when you want to go out there and do something. And for those of you who are NYCLA members, please join us. As Jim mentioned, there's membership materials across the street where we're going next. You can find us online, and let's all do something together. Lastly, you need to please follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I literally was trained last week. I have 11 followers. To catch up to Lady Gaga, I probably won't be able to do it in the presidency 100 years from now. But www.twitter.com/NYCLAPRES, NYCLA, and I will be sending a tweet the minute I step down from the podium, really. I look forward to celebrating with you across the street. I mentioned earlier, I have some friends from the New York City Bar Entertainment Committee, some of whom I've already convinced to become NYCLA members, and hope to convince many more of them to do so. But they have a musical treatment store. They're singing to me, hopefully it won't be too embarrassing, and they're singing to NYCLA. And if all goes well, that will all be uploaded to YouTube. So we'll have the trifecta. Thank you all.